Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Eliott Wave update for Jasmy. I wanted to do a quick update because we have had some movement in the market here. But quick recap on the daily. We had a 5-wave move, pretty much an ideal Eliott wave off the significant low. Our wave 1 was a diagonal. We then had our wave 2 as a sharp correction between the 50 and the 618 retracement of wave 1. Pretty much ideal guidelines. We had an extended third wave with really nice separation for our wave 3. Ideal target for that was the 1.618. You can see we came past that a little bit, which is perfectly fine. We then had our sideways correction for our wave 4, rule of alternation, sharp wave 2, sideways wave 4. And we came right between the 236 and the 382 retracement of wave 3. Again, pretty much ideal guidelines. And our target for our wave 5 is the length of wave 1 off of wave 2. And we're looking for the 1-to-1 for our wave 5. So pretty much ideal Eliott wave. Really nice setup. So I'm very interested in buying this in the future here. But wanted to show you this makes a larger 1-2 in the for the next wave to the upside in the larger count. So now we have to talk about what's happening over here. Now when you're looking at this instinctively, you might think, okay, we're making new highs. That's not really the case. We're actually correcting this entire 5-wave move. Similar to this wave 1 down here, we need a pretty extended out correction before our wave 2 is complete. It's just too quick. So right now, my assumption is this is an A wave. We're looking for a B wave, then our C wave. Remember, our ideal wave 2 is between the 50 and the 618, and we've just hit the 236 right now. So chances are we're just at the beginning of this correction. But it does mean in the future, there's very high probability that we get a pretty large wave in the future. It's just waves within waves. So if this is 1-2 and we're expecting a third, as you can see, this is 1-2, we're expecting a larger degree version of this after this correction is done. Okay, so we're going to talk about this area. What I'm looking for is either a complex correction as a 333 WXY. In that scenario, we pretty much pivot right now and make this C wave or Y wave. And indications of that are we're at the 618 retracement of this move to the downside, which is a usual pivot point. But because the market is so bullish, and if Bitcoin continues on, I am actually expecting this to more turn out to be a flat pattern. I'll show you where those invalidations are if this changes, but I'm expecting a flat pattern. So this just turns into a more complex corrective move to the upside before we make our C wave like this. So our B wave comes over here. Our C wave comes over here, and we don't have to make that deep of a correction. But just to be clear, this isn't enough time that has passed to be considered correcting this entire move. Minimum requirement for a B wave in a flat, which is a 3-3-5 pattern, or a 3-3-3 if it's a WXY, is 4107. That's the 90% retracement of this A wave. That's the minimum requirement to be a flat as an ABC, 3-3-5. If we get a WXY, there's no minimum requirement, and that would be a 3-3-3. B waves can also come as high as the 1.236 and the 1.382 extension of this A wave. And if that ends up happening, we more likely get a choppy sideways ABC, and then we get our C wave over here. And in that scenario, I'd expect the A wave to get defended and not make a new low. A running flat, the B wave makes a new high above wave 5 and does not make a new low below the A wave. So looking for a few of those scenarios. So now we're going to go to the smaller time frames and talk about that. But first, let's go from last video. This is what I had down at the 15-minute. I was looking for an A, B, C with a triangle. I'll go down to the 15-minute. That's that A wave low area. And this is what we ended up getting. It's a little bit off from what I had, but as you can see, the direction was correct. So we're looking for 29.36 as our target, and which was right 29.36. It's right here. So you can see, even though the count was a little bit off, the direction was correct. So I'm going to talk about what I think is actually happening now. There's a couple different options. One option is this just got extended out, and our triangle just got extended out. Like so, A, B, C, D, E. And we were a little bit early. Like so. And our target was that 1-to-1, which is right there. Our target actually went up a little bit to basically 3.1 cents. And we are at target. So in that scenario, it looks like potentially 5 waves complete with the extended fifth. And if this ends up playing out, what I would expect is this to turn into something more complex, something like this. And this all becomes a W wave or an A wave. And we correct again in another 3 to the upside. And what I would look for is a retracement between the 382 and the 618 here. It can even come lower, but looking for a series of 3 rather than impulsive moves. Okay, so I'm going to take this off and show you my other count. It doesn't matter that much, but what I'm looking at, something more like this. This allows for another move to the upside in case we do make another move. And this is an ABC. So this area is very complex, but I do like this as a potential diagonal. So in this scenario, we have 5 waves up for our A. This is actually a complex WXY. You can see we have a zigzag for our A wave. Or sorry, our W wave, my mistake. ABC for a zigzag. 3-wave move, complex correction for our X. And this is a flat, 3, 3, 5. So WXY. You can see we have a flat correction as a WXY. That's the connecting leg of these 2 waves. So in that scenario, our first scenario, our E wave was over here and this is complete. In this scenario, our B wave is here and we're looking for 5 waves. So this can be 1, 2, again, extended fifth in that third, 3, 4, halfway through, we can still go. And then we get a 5th wave, and then we get our larger correction to correct this 3-wave move. So is it complete already, or do we need one more kick up? I'm not actually trading this one at the moment, but I will be interested in a trade setup over here because we can come up. Again, that's our 90% minimum requirement for that B wave. Again, expect it to come up in 3s, but we can come all the way up to that 1.236 and 382, making higher highs. So it does look pretty nice. So if we do come up higher there, we'll probably hit a 1.236 or 1.382 extension. Let me put that up there so we have those targets off this proposed count. And that would get us right here. 3.2 cents, 3.335, right there. We can come against the up all the way to the 1.618, but it's less common. You look for the 1-to-1, 1.236, 1.382. You can see that's also the edge of this pitchfork. Get on your pivot. Come on. There we go. Which we've already tagged, as you can see. This pitchfork is modified. It's just a channel. Take from the beginning of wave A off the B, extend it off the A. So you can see we've reached the minimum requirement there. Yeah, I'm looking for one of these two scenarios. Let's turn into maybe a flat back up here, then come back down, or this turns into something complex in threes. And this is our W or A wave, looking for a B or X, and then we go up for our Y or C. So that's what I'm looking for. Very interested in the trade once we get this correction, and I'll make sure to update that. All right, guys, that's it for Jasmy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.